No, Mr. Senator, I don't think that you really understand. We need a candidate that the people can get behind. We need someone with the qualities of leadership that are visibly apparent. We need a leader that men can see. What kind of qualities, you ask? Well, what about some of those basic needs like bravery and strength? Someone that won't back down from a challenge, like intelligence. Someone that understands complex concepts. And a third one, maybe of prior accomplishment. Someone that has made something with their own two hands and can stand on their own glory. Those are the things we need to be looking for. Look, I have to go. I have a meeting that needs to start soon, or we're all going to be late for lunch. Thanks, Mr. Senator. Goodbye. Good morning, everyone. Sorry for that interruption. I can't seem to get him to understand that we need someone that the people are willing to follow. We need to discover what a true leader is. Let me begin with, hang on a second. I think I'm getting a text. It's from the senator. It says he thinks he's found the candidate I'm looking for. It's got someone with the strength and bravery of Gideon. Try reading Judges chapter 6, verse 11. This might be good. The senator always likes to make Bible references to our candidate options. Well, I don't really remember my judges that well, but I do think Gideon was a general and a warrior. Let's see what he has to say. And there came an angel of the Lord, and sat under an oak which was in Ophrah, that pertained unto Joash the Abiezrite, and his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. Well, this isn't starting out so well. It sounds like he's in hiding. That doesn't sound like bravery or strength. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him, and said unto him, The Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. Oh, this just got better. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, Did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now that the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us unto the hands of the Midianites. And the Lord looked upon him and said, Go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? And he said unto him, O my Lord, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. Well, now it sounds like he's weak and small again. And the Lord said unto him, Surely I will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. And he said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, then show me a sign that thou takest with me. Depart not hence, I pray thee, until I come unto thee and bring forth my present and set it before thee. And he said, I will tarry until thou come again. And Gideon went and made ready a kid and unleavened cakes of an ephah of flour and flesh, and he put it in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and brought it out unto him under the oak, and presented it. And the angel of God said unto him, Take the flesh and the unleavened cakes, and lay them upon the rock, and pour out the broth. And he did so. Then the angel of the Lord put forth the end of the staff, and there that was in his hand, and touched the flesh and the unleavened cakes, and there rose up fire out of the rock, and consumed the flesh and the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of the Lord departed out of sight. And when Gideon perceived that he was an angel of the Lord, Gideon said, Alas, O Lord God, for because I have seen an angel of the Lord face to face. And the Lord said unto him, Peace be unto you, fear not, thou shalt not die. Then Gideon built an altar there unto the Lord, and called it Jehovah Shalom. Unto this day it is yet in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. And it came to pass that same night that the Lord said unto him, Take thy father's young bullock, even the second bullock of 7 years old, and throw down the altar of Baal that thy father hath, and cut down the grove that is by it, and build an altar unto the Lord thy God upon the top of this rock, in the ordered place, and take the second bullock, and offer a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the grove, that thou shalt cut down. Then Gideon took 10 men of his servants, and did as the Lord said unto him. And so it was, because he feared his father's household and the men of the city, that he could not do it by day, and that he did it by night. This Gideon's kind of a complex character. He has some strength, some weakness, some bravery, but he goes out by night. And then if I skip down a little bit here, it says, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet, and Abiezer was gathered after him, and he sent messages throughout all Manasseh, who also gathered after him. And he sent messengers unto Asher, and unto Zebulun, and unto Naphtali, and they came up to meet him. Well, Mr. Senator, I don't know that this Gideon guy was really that brave. It kind of sounds like he got it all from the Spirit of God. And the only thing that made him any good was that he was willing to follow when God told him to go. Well, that was a nice distraction from the task at hand, but we still need to go about selecting a candidate. So, I think that the next thing that we need to discuss is intelligence. Hang on, I'm getting another text. It's the senator again. He says, I've been thinking about your intelligence comment, and I think I have a candidate for you that's like one of the disciples. It says, they must have been pretty smart guys, because they traveled with Jesus after all. Try reading Matthew 16:5-17. And then his disciples were come to the other side. They had forgotten to take bread. And Jesus said to them, take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. And they reasoned amongst themselves, saying, it is because we have taken no bread. I don't really think that's what Jesus was talking about. Which when Jesus perceived, he said unto them, O ye of little faith, why reason you amongst yourselves because you have brought no bread? Do ye not yet understand, neither remember the 5 loaves of the 5,000, and how many baskets ye took up? Neither the 7 loaves of the 4,000, and how many baskets ye took up? How is it that you do not understand that I spake it not to you concerning bread, but that you should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. These guys might not be so smart. They didn't even understand a simple metaphor. Then understand that how that he bade them not beware of the leaven of bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. Then Jesus came unto the coasts of Caesarea Philippi. He said unto his disciples, saying, Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, Some say that thou art John the Baptist, some say Elias, and others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. And he said unto them, But whom say you that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Barjona, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto you, but my Father, which is in heaven. Oh, I think I see the theme developing here. It's not the attributes of self that are as important as the attributes that God can amplify within us. The revelation came not from Simon himself and his intelligence, or somewhat lack thereof at times, but instead, the Spirit of God descended on him as well. Is that what you're trying to say, Mr. Senator? I should reply. The senator says I should continue reading in the same chapter with verses 21 through 24. From that time forth began Jesus to show unto his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed, and be raised again the 3rd day. Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, Be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me, for thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men. So perhaps the candidate should not have the attributes of men, but instead of God. And perhaps we should even find the attributes of men to be offensive versus the attributes of God. Perhaps I don't want to continue. Wait, the senators responded again. Hey, I think I found your self-made man. He's a king even. Try Daniel chapter 4, verses 1 through 37. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, unto all peoples, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I thought it good to show the signs and wonders that the high God hath wrought toward me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in mine house and flourishing in my palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions of my head troubled me. Therefore made I a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretations of the dream. Then came in the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers, and I told the dream unto them, but they did not know unto me the interpretation thereof. But at the last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. Before him I told the dream, saying, O Belteshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in thee, and no secret troubleth thee, tell me the visions of my dream that I have seen, and the interpretation thereof. Thus were the visions of mine head in my bed. I saw, and behold, a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height therefore was great. The tree grew and was strong, and the height therefore reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof to the end of all the earth. The leaves thereof were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and it was meat for all, and the beasts of the field had shadow under it, and the fowls of the heaven dwelt in the boughs thereof, and all the flesh was fed by it. Well, this is pretty good. I'd like to stop here, but I fear I cannot. And I saw in the visions of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and a holy one came down from heaven. He cried aloud and said thus, Hew down the tree, and cut off his branches, shake off his leaves, scatter his fruit, let the beasts get away from under it, and the fowls from its branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of its roots in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts in the grass of the earth. Let his heart be changed from man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whosoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. This dream I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have seen. Now thou, O Belteshazzar, declare the interpretation thereof, forasmuch as all the wise men of his kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but thou art able, for the spirit of the holy gods is in thee. Then Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, was astoned for 1 hour, and his thoughts troubled. The king spake and said, Belteshazzar, let not the dream or the interpretation thereof trouble thee. Belteshazzar answered and said, My lord, the dream be to them that hate thee, and the interpretation thereof to thine enemies. The tree that thou sawest, which grew and was strong, whose height reached unto the heaven, and the sight thereof to all the earth, whose leaves were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and it was meat for all, under which the beasts of the field dwelt, and upon whose branches the fowls of heaven had their habitation. It is thou, O king, that art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown and reacheth unto heaven, and thy dominion to the end of the earth. All right, this guy's awesome. This is perfect. And whereas the king saw a watcher and a holy one coming down from heaven and saying, Hew the tree down and destroy it, yet leave the stump of the roots therefore in the earth, even with the bands of iron and brass in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew. Let his portion be with the beasts of the field till 7 times pass over him. This is the interpretation, O king. This is the decree of the Most High, which is come upon my lord the king, that they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and they shall wet thee with the dew of heaven, and 7 times shall pass over thee, till thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and give it to whomsoever he will. And whereas they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots, thy kingdom shall be sure unto thee. After that thou shalt be known that the heavens do rule. Wherefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable unto thee, and break off thy sins by righteousness, and thy iniquities by showing mercy to the poor, if it be by a lengthening of thy tranquility. All this came upon the king Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months, he walked in the palace of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven saying, O king Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and give it to whomsoever he will. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagle's feathers, and his nails like bird's claws. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that liveth forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation. And all the inhabitants of the earth were reputed as nothing, and he doeth according to his will to the army of heaven, and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none shall stay his hand, or say unto him, What doest thou? At the same time my reason returned unto me, and for the glory of my kingdom mine honor and brightness returned unto me, and my counselors and my lords sought unto me. And I was established in my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added unto me. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, all whose works are truth, and his ways judgment, and those that walk in pride he is able to abase. Oh no, a beast for 7 years. That would completely use up his 2 terms as president. Well, I hate to admit it, but I think the senator makes a very good case. It is not the qualities of man that are important. A heart that seeks God will allow him to give much more to this nation than any qualities that are within himself. As one last wrap-up, the senator has sent me to Proverbs 8, 13 through 17. For the fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Counsel is mine, and sound wisdom. I am understanding, I have strength. By me kings reign, and princes decree justice. By me princes rule, and nobles, even all the judges of the earth. I love them that love me, and those that seek me early shall find me.